Hello and welcome to a special Jace Media Music video interview. I am your host, Justin Smullison, Jace contributor from across the pond. I'm so excited to present an interview with 3/4 of Darker Half, a fantastic melodic power metal band out of Australia. I was a big fan of their last album, If You Only Knew, which is available from our friends at Massacre Records, and their brand new album is just as good, if not better. We're going to debate that in a little bit. It's called The Book of Fate. It is also available from Massacre Records. It is available now worldwide. And I had a chance to speak with the band just before they head out on tour with a rock icon, Glenn Hughes, on the Chosen Years tour. That tour is starting in the Netherlands this week, and it will take them to Germany. We're going to plug all the dates in a little bit. But there's so much to discuss about Darker Half. There's been a little bit of a lull in activity as far as releases, but there was no lull in activity behind the scenes. We're going to talk all about it. You are hearing a clip of the title track right now. And we're going to talk about some other key standout moments from this fantastic album. So let's get to it. Jace Media Music audiences worldwide, please welcome all the way from Australia, Darker Half. It's going all right. Well, I've got 3/4 of Darker Half with me right now, right, gentlemen? Would you go around the room and say each of your names and your instrument?
Yeah, I'm Dom. I play drums.
I'm Vo. I'm the singer guitar player.
Danny, guitars and backing vocals.
All right, and it's worth mentioning that Dom and Vo are brothers. Yeah, there you go. All right.
Yeah.
And you've got a brand new album. It's called The Book of Fate, and it's excellent. I love it. And it picks up wonderfully where If You Only Knew left off. And there's so many subtle hints and nods and stuff like that. But the album is out now. The Book of Fate is out now. How do you feel about it?
I'm really stoked about it now that it's come out and listening to it again when, on the release day, we all had to listen to it all properly again. Haven't listened to it for a little while.
Right.
And after a bit of space, I was like, fuck, this is a really good album.
Yeah.
It was a good hype up on the way to the festival that we were doing to the album's out today. First show of the tours today. Have a crank. And it was cool.
Excellent. And is it the sort of thing where because you work on it for so long and you're so immersed in it, you need to step back every once in a while and let it run its course? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But in this case, it took a long time because of a lot of label issues. Our label got bought out by a digital rights company. This is all stuff that I don't really know or care about, but it was a huge pain in my ass.
Right.
So we ideally wanted this out about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
We were ready to release in 2023, but just wasn't possible. Basically.
So you've been sitting on this for a while, so you're ready to go out there and take it to the world, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And when you have an album like this, was it well, look, the imagery is there. Where am I? The imagery is there between The Book of Fate and If You Only Knew. There's some linkage that maybe the themes are similar, not necessarily a narrative, right? Not a concept album.
No, not quite. Yeah.
But the
It's
theme,
it's all a bit linked together, but it's not like a concept album in the traditional sense of like
Right.
a particular story. It's more-
right?
Yeah. I don't know. If you wanted to call it a story, it's more like Isaac Asimov's Foundation or something. It's all so long term that there's no individual characters anymore.
Right. We could say it's loosely constructed that way. Is the way how we would say it. Yeah.
It's conceptual.
Yes. And was it one of those things where you were so happy with If You Only Knew that you said, let's just stay in this direction for another album?
Kinda, yeah. In one sense, that was it.
Mhm.
If You Only Knew was definitely a turning point musically, from what we were, on our first couple of records to kind of where we were going. And I think we kind of really got it right for the first time on If You Only Knew. And so we definitely wanted to take that further, but we also changed two of the members in the band in the meantime as well. So this is Danny's first writing on this album. Same with bass player Jimmy, who's not here, but his first playing on the first album they've played on. And
Right.
And
So-
we wrote it in the room together this time,
Oh,
with everyone contributing stuff here and there, where If You Only Knew was actually just me and Dom playing on the record, except for the guest guitars. and just us writing it as well. And the previous albums, I wrote sort of 95% of all of it, mostly alone, without too much outside input. Where this time I really wanted to make it. Well, we all wanted to make it much more collaborative,
Right.
and I guess we had enough back catalog now that there's a certain defined style where Danny can come in and go, okay, this is what a Darker Half song sounds like, maybe.
Yeah.
Which it worked really well because what he brought in was kind of like deliberately going off some of the older stuff, but then obviously he's going to do his own thing with it, so it's going to come out a little different. So it worked really well. It was good.
Yeah.
Danny, how did it feel making your debut with Darker Half on this record?
Yeah, it felt super cool. Like when I joined, I just missed out making the If You Only Knew cut. Like I think
By
I
a
joined
couple of weeks.
2 weeks after the final guest songs were finished. So I was like, damn on that one. And then through COVID, waiting through all of that. And then, after my first European tour, when we supported Jeff Tate back in 2022, just being super inspired, living the life on the tour bus, witnessing the big wide world over here in Europe. Yeah, super inspired and then pumped out. I think 4 of the songs on the album are ones that I brought to the band. And like Vo was saying, you kind of already have the blueprint. Like I was already previously a fan of the band back in the day.
Yeah.
So I kind of liked all the fast shreddy stuff. So it's like, all right, I kind of know the parameters in which I need to work in. And then, obviously do it in my style and bring it to the guys. And then halfify it even more.
Right. That's excellent. That sounds so cool. I've spoken to many musicians over the years, and I think it's the more collaborative efforts like you're speaking about are the ones that they are the most proud of. Even if on a creative level, commercially, that's another story, but they always, there's a level of camaraderie that you can feel in the music, I think, among the musicians and the fans. Yeah.
Well,
So-
when we got to the end, when
go
we
ahead.
got to the end of making this one, there was no feeling at all of like, oh shit, it was much easier when it was just the 2 of us on If You
Right.
Knew. And, we're already deep into writing for the next record, and we kind of took the process that we established on Book of Fate, and it's just become our natural state now. Like I wouldn't think of doing it another way.
Yeah. Now I remember, correct me if I'm wrong here, when you toured with Jeff Tate, was that also with a group called the Sons of Sounds?
Yeah.
Those
So-
guys are excellent.
I saw your interview with Wayne actually.
Yes. Yeah.
I can't remember how I came across it, but I was like,
I love them. I remember, and I remember talking with him. He said, did he say something to the effect of, you slept on his couch or something like that? Yeah.
We played his place a lot when we come to Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw him for lunch the other day.
Yeah.
So you guys get along? You're all like big family
Yeah.
now?
Buds. Yeah.
We became super close friends on that first tour with Jeff.
Yeah.
We've been hanging out ever since, every time we're over here.
It was kind of like the Step Brothers moment within the first day of that tour. Like the first show was in Rome, and just at the end of the night, I'm like, "Did we just become best friends?" Like, so,
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think you guys would jive so well with them, just listening to both of you and getting, getting the
actually,
frequency of life. Ding, ding, ding. I love
We
that. man.
actually covered their song Time Machine when we
Oh,
played
yeah.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
we didn't tell them what we were going to do. We just ripped it out. And they're just like, what the fuck? That was fun.
Would you tour with them again? I'm guessing you would.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Now bring that over to the US for me, because we don't get much Aussie and German metal here anymore unless we're very. What's that?
It's so hard to get over there. It's so expensive.
My understanding. I'm sorry about that. I had nothing to do with it, I promise.
Yeah. We played with Auden
Ogan, yeah.
who were coming over for Prog Power. And they were saying, like it's, Prog Power is great, but it's hard to like do a whole tour kind of.
Yeah, you got to build a tour around it if you can do it.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
yep, certainly not the first time we've heard that. I did want to zero in on a couple of songs. If I'm looking at my phone, it's just because that's where my notes are right now. You got 2 songs on there called "Are You Listening" and "Something Sinister." And am I hearing it correctly? Are there bells in both of those? Tolling of the bells. I thought that was a really cool little flourish to the songs.
I
Yeah.
love bells. We used bells for the first time on a song of ours called Heaven's Falling on the Classified EP.
Mhm.
Or Stranger. Or maybe even on the Never Surrender album.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm going to be honest here. I loved the bells in Disarm by Smashing Pumpkins when I was a kid. The song Disarm.
Yeah.
So I wanted to use them So I try to use the bells and the organs whenever I can.
Yeah, and use the organ in Book of Fate a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gives that creepy Vincent Price kind of a feel.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing I love about the bells was that it creates this ominous tone in the middle of everything. And Something Sinister was a faster song, and as opposed to the other one, which is a little bit not as fast. At least that's my recollection. And you're using it well, and it's just like another tool in the tool belt, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I think we really kind of found our palette for those kind of extra key synth elements. Tends to be in those more organic things. Like we'll use organ instead of like a big synth pad. And
Right.
We'll use bells, and we'll use like even instead of strings, it'll be like a mellotron strings. Where it's like a sampled instrument. Or even like Fender Rhodes or Wurlitzer or those kind of things. It tends to be those stuff that you probably could have just done in the studio in the 70s. Is this kind of sounds we want to use to fill out the landscape. Moogs even. If it's going to be a synth, it's going to be a Moog because it's cooler than it's cooler.
Do you it just does it bring like I want to say almost like a warmth? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it does. I think it warms up the guitars and stops it being so gets the fizz out of it, but you still get the punch from the strings, basically, like the guitars and bass.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's a good tool to use. I'm glad you guys are doing it. Vo, you're the singer. You're the lead singer. How do you keep your voice strong? What techniques do you use?
A lot of warming up stuff.
Yeah.
Ginger honey tea. That's always a winner.
I love it. You guys are taking it seriously, because a lot of bands, I got my beer right here. Like, no, you actually have a ginger root. Oh, I got the Jack over there. All right.
You'll notice that it's empty.
Yeah.
But no, look, I do like to party and getting drunk and having fun and all that sort of stuff. But then once we started doing these European tours, and there's sort of 8-9 shows in a row sometimes, like on the first one, I realized pretty quickly where my limits were.
Right.
And then on the second one, I learned, okay, if that's my limit, what can I do to kind of push it a bit further and be a bit healthier? And how can I make sure I'm still having fun and not like being a party pooper, but like at the same time keeping myself together, Yeah. At that point, I've found a pretty good balance. Honestly, I was having a bit of trouble before COVID. And then when we went on these tours with Jeff Tate, just watching certain things that he did, because he's a bit older than me as well, and still quite a bit older than me, and still has it. Just paying attention to little subtle things that I might not know about, and just going, okay.
Oh, okay.
To do.
Yeah.
You're-
Dudes like still keep like Jeff, like Graham Bonnet. We played with Graham Bonnet, and he was like 72 and sang like a motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Glenn Hughes.
So and you watch all these guys, and there's certain things that they're all doing to kind of keep it going. So it's like, okay, let's just copy this stuff for a little bit, see what works, see what doesn't. Actually get real advice if you've got a chance to talk to someone. But even just paying attention is enough all of the time. But yeah, it's something I really worked on. Is I started off as a guitar player who could sing,
right?
Where at a certain point, we're just realizing, well, no, I am the singer. I've got to be a singer who plays guitar, not the other way around. And just treating the singing as an actual instrument rather than just, someone has to sing, so I'll sing.
Right. You gotta take care of your instrument. Right? Yeah, you gotta protect it.
Yeah, and working on I think the big thing as well was learning to be a little bit calmer on stage, so I don't get overexcited, yelling at the crowd over the first few songs and blow my voice out.
Right.
I'm still doing the show and moving around and being exciting, but not just going full bore right from the start and just shredding yourself. Just leaving a little bit in the tank and keeping balanced.
Do Danny and Dom support you with backing vocals during the live shows?
That's actually one of the best things about the new lineup we've got now. Is that all four members sing, and so there's a track on If You Only Knew, 1,000 Mile Stare, that we'd ever do live because we didn't think we'd be able to pull off the vocal harmonies, and now we've got the whole band singing it, and it all sounds great, and
nice.
It's awesome.
Kind of like our Mr. Big moment.
I also wanted to ask you. Oh, so the tour with Glenn Hughes is starting this week? Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Tomorrow's the first show.
Great. And you excited?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
we did a couple of festivals the other day, which kind of got us into the swing of it. And then we had 2 days off, and it's like, man, I just want to go play these shows already, you know?
Right. Yeah. So I may have mentioned through our mutual acquaintances that I also interviewed Soren Anderson recently.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love him. I think he's fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's so cool that you get to see him every night. I mean, I love his solo work. I didn't even know. I knew him as him, not as Glenn Hughes. Yeah. So then when I saw that he was doing it, I said, "Oh, cool." I interviewed him earlier this year for his live album, and at the time, I think they were just about to announce the tour dates, but they hadn't added you as the support. And I said, "Oh, that's great. You know, like you're going to go out there with pretty much a rock icon and one of the best freaking guitarists out there. You gotta step your game up every single day, don't you?"
Yeah. It is. That's one of the great things about doing these sort of tours is that like you know what level you have to be at to do this sort of stuff. Like, like doing the couple with Jeff, like Mindcrime's always been a favorite album of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And going on tour and supporting that, you're like, okay, this is the sort of, you really learn where the bar is, I guess.
Yeah. Danny, how do you when you look at a guy like Soren Anderson, how much do you watch him, if at all? And do you ever say, "Oh man, I gotta step up my game tonight to compete with that guy"?
I'm always one, like, no matter who we're going out, I'll always like watch sound checks or just watch how they load in. Cause like Vo was saying, if you just observe and watch, if you're smart about it, you can learn a lot. So absorbing just how they carry themselves, you'll learn how to carry yourself on tour. But yeah, any little cool things they do, whether it's on guitar, I'm always one to pick their brain. I'm like, that little thing you done with the pick there, the pick slide into that lick. What would you do?
Yeah.
With me that? I'm always, I'm a little nerd like that and try to pick up on every little thing.
Yeah.
Anything that I can steal from my little tool bag.
Your brain needs to be a sponge when you're on tour, right? Because then it becomes part of your DNA, I guess, for that tour or the next one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's wild. It's so cool. And do you because you know Glenn's a rock guy. He's got Black Country Communion, which is almost metal, but you guys are, you know, you're known for melodic power metal. Let's just call it that. Do you worry that you're gonna blow them the hell away?
Definitely. We're definitely going to be a heavy band. You know, but you know, I think we've got a good set list that's going to work well for it. And I think, you know, our softer songs will definitely are in the same wheelhouse. You know, I think there's one or two that are probably going to be on the edge, but I think it'll be a good package. And I get the feeling that especially in Europe, most of the fans are going to be into that sort of stuff anyway, even if it's not what they were coming to see that night, you know?
Yeah, that's it. Like, I think there's enough crossover in like the kind of people that would buy tickets to a Glenn Hughes show are probably like big fans of the wider genre, you know? So yeah, they might have gone thinking I'm going to see like a bluesy, rocky kind of show, but that could even work in our favor if we come out like all guns blazing and put on like a really amped up metal show. It's, you know, people might be like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting to see that." Cool.
It's funny actually, because when we did our own tour last year, the support act that we had was a band in Australia called Dirty Pagans, who ended up supporting Glenn in Australia.
Got it. Yeah.
So it must cross over on some level because the same bands are all in the same wheelhouses, so it should work fine.
That's excellent. And the tour, say it one more time. The tour starts tomorrow.
Yeah.
In Germany.
No, in Netherlands.
In the Netherlands. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then are you with him on every date through October?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not doing the UK and Scandinavian run after. But yeah, we finish up, I think, on the 27th of October or something like
September.
that.
September.
Oh,
Sorry.
September.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we're not with him out.
So yeah, no, we're not doing those October dates.
We really want to get to the UK. It's just we haven't managed to make it work yet.
Yeah.
On the trips, and like our booking agent and management and label are all based in Germany in the one little area as well. So we have focused a bit on the Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, Swiss sort of area, but you know, UK's next on the list.
Crossing. Oh, you got to do it incrementally, right?
Yeah.
Are you guys at all friends with? I'm going to name drop a little bit. Are you friends with from Australia, Temptress?
Yeah.
You like them? They're cool.
They're one of the few bands that have been around as long as us and kept it going the whole way through.
Yeah.
I've been in Fox for like nearly probably 20 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we get along real well.
That's cool. And then Elm Street, you know them?
Yeah,
those guys are good. That last album that they did, that was like a mind blower. That last one that they did. Yeah. So a lot of great music coming out of Australia these days.
Oh, yeah. We have a lot of good bands because we're like the country boys of the world. It's like, you know, when you go to Johnny B. Good play guitar,
right?
And it's like, we're the world's country boys. So.
Do you feel? Is Australia big enough, or like you got to get out? You got to play.
You got to get outside of Australia.
Australia's the same size as the States,
right?
But we only 10% of the people.
Okay, so then you need to get out.
There just isn't the market for it. Like there isn't a market for it, and the travels to the places too far apart to do like a 30-day tour or whatever, like you can in America or Europe.
Yeah,
right.
Like honestly, to be a successful band only in Australia, there is a few that do it. Not in this genre at all, though. Yeah, you have to completely appeal to like that age group of like 14 to 25-year-old young people. Has to be totally what's in at the time, and then that you only really have a shelf life of about 10 years until that becomes not the hit thing anymore. You know what I mean? So
right.
Yeah, you gotta think globally, really. Like there's no it's not like it was in the 80s and 90s where we did have a scene that, you know, there's plenty of bands from that era that are famous in Australia that never got out, but that doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah. Are you guys friendly with Airborne at all?
We don't really know them particularly well.
Oh, okay.
I've met them, and you know, they're nice guys and shit like that, but I don't see them as often. But again, this is something I was talking about in the other interview we were doing, is like the line between where rock and metal splits seems to be in a bit of a different place in Australia than in Europe and America.
Right.
Yeah, like we're very much in Australia, we're a metal band. Like we're a rock band at all. But over here it's sometimes called melodic rock or hard rock, or we've been on tour with Glenn Hughes or something. Yeah. In Australia it's very much metal. Like and I think it's hard to say why, but I think it's just the Australian bands that got so famous in the sort of 80s rock and roll era. We never really had a big hair metal boom in general, and we had bands like Rose Tattoo and AC/DC, and we're obviously in a different sort of lane to that. Even though, like, I like Rose Tattoo and AC/DC, but it's just not what we do.
Well, as Australians, aren't you by law obligated to love AC/DC? Isn't that how it works?
Yeah, we have to stand up in school in the morning and sing Back in Black together.
Right.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you have to go, fuck. Okay, yeah.
Then you get your milk and cookies.
Yeah. But no, that was, look, I still love them. That was the very first live album I ever bought was AC/DC Live, where Thunderstruck was the opening track. Yeah. And that song, I mean, I don't want to deviate too much. That song still blows away my kids, and my kids are little, you know?
Well, the real classics are classics for a reason, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. So would you, have you opened for AC/DC?
No.
You would though, right? If they offered it to you?
I'd love to, yeah.
Okay. Just putting it out there to Angus if he's listening, because never know.
I'm friends with Malcolm's son, Ross. He's a nice guy.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he's a local guy thing who comes down and hangs out a lot and goes to a lot of shows.
Wow. You never know. So you got these shows with Glenn, and then you said you've already started working on a new album, because the new one is new for us, but it's not really new for you anymore.
Yeah.
If all the business side of things is hashed out, when might we see another original studio album from Darker Half?
I'd say probably we won't just release it as soon as possible. So realistically, we'd probably wait until like 2027.
Okay.
But it'd be early 2027 though, not like at the end of the year. So it'd be like a year to a year and a half gap.
You won't have to wait for another 5 years.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Now, like the next one's continuing on with the If You Only Knew Book of Fate concept thing.
Yeah.
And those three will all sit together as like a trilogy of sorts.
Yeah. And you've got your mascot Jester guy, right?
Yeah. Which I'm really happy about. We never really planned for that sort of thing, but he's there now.
Yeah. He's your guy. But it's hard for me to imagine him not being there now.
Feels like he's always been there.
So I'm going to let you guys go in a minute. I was just wondering, and feel free to freestyle on this one. If I'm new to Darker Half and I'm listening to the Book of Fate from start to finish, what do you hope that I take away?
Oh,
it's a hard question.
It is a hard question.
I feel like a band that previously found their sound and now gonna go zero in on all of them concepts and now like strap the rocket ship.
Yeah, I think this is the most concise album we've had that has everything as it should be now.
Yeah.
I think the first three was like trying to find our feet and working out how to be a band, basically.
Right.
You got that right for the first time, and this is like a better version of a similar concept.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And the songs are a little bit shorter this time around.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Which is cool. It doesn't make what difference to me one way or the other. I mean, if you do a longer song, I'm still gonna like it. So
I like long and short songs, and it's funny that because like there's a lot of bands that I love that do really long songs, and I like short songs too. And I think just sometimes it works better one way or the other.
Right.
I don't really worry too much about whether they're long or short. But one thing I don't like is when they're long for no reason.
Right.
If it's a long song, all the parts have to be important and they have to need to be there. And I think on some of our earlier stuff, there's a bit of redundant repetition here and there, which we've kind of cut the fat a bit on this one, where all the stuff that we do is still there. It's not like it's simpler or anything. There's still a lot of guitar work going on. The songs are pretty complex, but just less redundancy, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think this is probably this and If You Only Knew are definitely the best starting off points for the band, I'd say. And I actually think this might be better as the first listen than If You Only Knew is.
Excellent. And Dom, anything you want to add there?
No, I'm cool.
Forgive me if I'm forgetting the exact song, and I want to say it was on the title track, but it could have been Faded Glory. Isn't there one part where you're just going full on death metal for a moment?
Oh yeah, very last song, the Book of Fate.
Book of Fate. Yeah, it was that one. I remember going, whoa! But you didn't do there was no growling or nothing like that. It was just the music, and man, you guys nailed that part. That was excellent.
Thanks, man.
We did that real specifically as well because our first album was produced by Stenu from Dimmu Borgir. So like I'm quite into the heavy stuff too.
Sure.
And I hate when people call like power metal like soft metal or not heavy enough or something like that.
Nope.
So it's like, and I like all the songs on this album, but some of them are a bit more mainstream than what we've done in the past. So I wanted there to, especially right at the very end on the title track, fuck you, we're just and I don't need to scream about it.
It's a great part. It's good for the end because it kind of jolts the listener back in. Just go, what's going to happen here? So really well done.
Sort of like that whole bridge in that song kind of like takes it to another direction from where it was in the first place,
Yeah.
So
super modern breakdown.
Yeah. It's kind of cool to have that little blasty business.
Yeah. It's a great closer. So I'm really glad that you guys you're out there and you're taking it to the people. And bringing it to the people, not taking it to them. You're bringing it to the people. And the album is The Book of Fate. It's available now from our friends at Massacre Records. And we're going to, the tour dates for Darker Half with Glenn Hughes are on this interview's show notes. I'm going to try to get a graphic to have them come up right now. I don't know if it's going to work, but it might. And hey, yeah. And then, gentlemen, it's such a pleasure to see you. And I love following you on Facebook and seeing what you're up to. And I just hope you keep it going.
Cheers, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Take it easy. Special thanks again to Dom, Vo, and Danny of Darker Half. The new album is The Book of Fate. It is available worldwide from our friends at Massacre Records. Right now, you are hearing a clip of the song Are You Listening? At the top, you heard the title track, and in the middle of the interview, you heard a clip of Something Sinister, as well as the title track of If You Only Knew, which is their prior album, also available from Massacre Records. Visit darkerhalf.com for more information and for those tour dates supporting Glenn Hughes right now, fall 2025, on the Chosen Years Tour. Starting September 6th, you will see them supporting Glenn Hughes in Germany at the Culture House Stadtgarten in New Ribbon, and they will be supporting Glenn through September 24th at the Z7 Club in Pratteln, Switzerland. And then after that, if you're lucky enough to be in Germany, you get to catch them and a headline show at Soundcheck 1, which is owned by the Sons of Sounds. That'll be in Waldbronn, Germany on September 26th, and on September 27th, they will be at the Best of Music Festival in Neuenstadt, Germany. Be sure to support the band on social, and as always, be sure to make legitimate purchases of the music, merch, and tickets to support hard-working artists like those in Darker Half. Head on over to the revamped JaceMediaMusic.com page. We've got reviews, we've got interviews, we've got all kinds of great music coverage. Check out some of my recent video interviews with my all-time favorite metal singer, John Bush of Armored Saint and Category 7, the drummer of Category 7 and Shadows Fall, Jason Bittner, guitar heroes like Herman Frank of Victory, and Soren Anderson, guitar player for Glenn Hughes, who we mentioned during this interview, and rock and metal singers like Nick DeSalvo of Elder, Fate's Warning singer Ray Alder, DK Revell of Kickin' Valentina, and members of Avatarium, Captain Blackbeard, and more. Special thanks, as always, to our fantastic founder and publisher, Glenn, and all of my Jace Media colleagues. And of course, special thanks to you, the worldwide Jace Media music audience. Look for Jace Media on Facebook and X and Instagram and basically every social media channel you can think of. I am Justin Smollison, proud Jace Media contributor from across the pond. Thank you again for tuning in. Keep coming back to JaceMediaMusic.com. I've got more video interviews on the way.